Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment here for Tighten Up Friday. I was busy last night. I couldn't do Tighten Up Thursday, but it's Friday. I actually have no plans on this Friday night. My date is you all in the audience, and today we're going to talk about my offensive statistical projections / predictions, whichever word you want to use, for the Tennessee Titans in 2020. But real quick, there is one headline that we had for Tennessee Titans news this week. It ain't a good headline. Okay, as Jarrell Casey, he has some sour grapes. He is not happy with how the Tennessee Titans threw him away. He was on the Double Coverage podcast, which features, I believe, the McCourty twins. And on this podcast, he kind of ripped us in how we got rid of Jarrell Casey, saying, quote, "Well, for us to get to that point, talking about getting to the AFC Championship game, to get better and to be a main focus of that, and then, just throw me away to the trash like I wasn't a main block of that, especially coming off of an injury the year before and playing the whole season for y'all. No complaints. I did everything you wanted me to do, and you throw me away like a piece of trash. At the end of the day, none of these businesses are loyal, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, you can harp on it for a little bit, but you've got to get over it." So, interesting, and a lot of us, including me, was not a big fan of getting rid of Jarrell Casey, especially after seeing what we did in the offseason, and we might still sign Jadeveon Clowney, but to me, the decision really came down to we got rid of Casey and we kept Daquan Jones to save $3 million. That don't make no damn sense, okay? I don't care who you are. I know there are some Daquan Jones fans, and he's a fine player. But the difference between Daquan Jones and Jarrell Casey is more than $3 million. We should have cut, if anybody, Daquan Jones and kept Jarrell Casey for that $3 million. Because that 6th round draft pick, it was a 7th round pick that we traded him for. Now it's a 6th round pick because we ended up trading that pick away, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's true. That is nothing. I mean, come on. It could end up being something, but come on. It's practically nothing. So really, we're talking about saving money for the salary cap. And if we don't sign Clowney, which we could, the salary cap, we're still going to be $20 million of salary cap. So we could have had Jarrell Casey under the salary cap. He has a point. He has a point. And then week 1, who do we have? We have the Denver Broncos, week 1 in Denver. We have Jarrell Casey, not only Jarrell Casey, but we have to also block Bradley Chubb and Von Miller on the front line. So good luck to our offensive line. Good luck to Taylor LeBron. Good luck to likely Dennis Kelly and company as they have to defend a terrific pass rushing duo that we haven't even seen at its true power yet in Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, and an upset Jarrell Casey. We'll see how that goes week 1 on Monday Night Football. So with that said, that was the main headline for this week. Let's move on to the main topic of this video, statistical projections for the Tennessee Titans in 2020. Now, this is offensive. Will I do defensive? I probably won't make a whole video on that because, it's not that big of a deal, man. I mean, who cares if Kevin Byard comes down with 80 tackles? I can just throw out 4 or 5 interceptions out there and you'll say, no, he'll get 7. Who cares? That's not really a big deal. The most interesting part of defense would be sacks, so I might just tack that on to another Tighten Up Thursday one week. Maybe not make it a whole video topic, but just discuss it for a little bit. So let's start at the helm, at the quarterback position, of course, Ryan Tannehill. So what will Ryan Tannehill do statistically this season? Okay, this is the question. Last year, he was an MVP candidate. Looking at his stats last season, my goodness, they were absolutely insane. He had, and in the games he played, only, I want to say, play 11 or 12 games. Should have even been Mariota played, he played 6 games? So basically 10 games, 10, 11 games for Ryan Tannehill, 70.3% completion percentage, 2,742 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a 117.5 passer rating. Those were intense statistics for Ryan Tannehill. And I'm remembering now, Mariota was 2-4, so Tannehill came in that 6th game against the Broncos, funny enough. So you can say 11 and a half games for Ryan Tannehill, and he came down with 22 touchdowns. Incredible there. My 2020 projection. Okay, some of these are going to go down. Okay, I know people think Ryan Tannehill can continue this pace, that now that he has all these weapons, he's going to continue this pace. I'm not buying it. I'd love to buy it. Oh, I'd love to see it. I mean, he gave us top 3 quarterback production last season. Absolutely, without a doubt. It was just him, it was Patrick Mahomes, and it was Lamar Jackson. Really? I mean, if you're going to be honest with the 11 games that he played, maybe you can put Russell Wilson over him too. Russell Wilson and maybe Kirk Cousins, but he was definitely top 5. And he was better than Deshaun Watson last year in the games that he played. Absolutely, if you just look at the games that he played. So, I'm not saying that overall, just the games that they play. My 2020 projection. So I'm saying 67% completion percentage. 3,700 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, a 101 pass rating. Now this would be about in line with what Deshaun Watson did last year, a little better and more efficient than what Jimmy Garoppolo did last year. About what Kirk Cousins gives you on a yearly basis. Not last year. Last year was a great year for Kirk Cousins. But what he normally gives you, that's where Ryan Tannehill is to me. I know a lot of people believe he's a top 10 quarterback. You know what? He might prove that this season. I actually believe he might prove that. I don't think he's proven that yet. I have him just outside of the top 10. I would still take a Matthew Stafford over him. I would still take a Matt Ryan over him. I would still take a number of quarterbacks over him. Carson Wentz over him. And we already talked about the Mahomes, the Deshaun Watsons of the world, the Russell Wilsons. That's not even a discussion. This is about in line what we expect. But hey, he's a franchise quarterback. There's a quarterback you can build around. Is he going to lift your team to a Super Bowl? No. But if you have a great O-line and a great running back and a damn good defense, you can win the Super Bowl. And we might have that. So that's good for Ryan Tannehill. Let's move on to Derrick Henry. Okay, so Derrick Henry is very interesting. He's going to go down, people. I know a lot of people believe he might be a candidate for 2,000 rushing yards, but there's a problem for Derrick Henry, and it's actually not a problem for us. We actually have a decent backup, we think, in Darrynton Evans. Now, I'm not the biggest Darrynton Evans fan. I don't think that this guy is even going to be around past his rookie deal. We'll see about that. But I do believe at least this year, for a couple years, he's going to provide a spark offensively. This is going to be a weapon for us out there in Darrynton Evans, and they're going to give him the rock, especially because Derrick Henry is likely to hold out into training camp, which means Darrynton Evans is going to be the starting running back into training camp. They're going to feel comfortable with him. And behind this offensive line, I think he's going to rush for over 4 yards a carry, which is always good for a rookie running back. He's going to show some burst, get some touchdowns. I'm going to get to Darrynton Evans in my projection for him in a moment. So, Derrick Henry last year, 303 carries, 1,500, fantastic. He's not going to get that again. And that was 5.1 yards a carry that he had last season, and he still only had 1,500 yards only. I mean, that's a great amount, don't get me wrong. But I'm just talking about the people expecting him to get 2,000. People expecting to get 1,800. No, sorry. Not today's NFL. If it was 10 years ago, Chris Johnson's NFL. If it was 15 years ago, Jerome Buss's NFL. Gerard Davis, or whatever that Ravens running back, I can't remember his name. The other dude that rushed for 2,000 yards. Maybe. But it ain't that NFL. I got Derrick Henry down for 260 carries, 1,300 yards, and I'll still say the touchdowns are going to be pretty high at 14 because this guy was incredibly efficient inside the 5 in the red zone when it came to getting touchdowns. He's always been great at that throughout his NFL career. This is something I expect to continue, so I still expect high touchdowns for Derrick Henry, but the talks of him, even Jamal Lewis in the chat, someone said it, Jamal Lewis, that's what I was thinking about. Who got 2,000 yards for the Ravens in the early 2000s. But for Derrick Henry, still high touchdowns, good amount of yards. I mean, 1,300 yards, we'll take that, but it's just not going to be the production it was last season. But it's going to be still good pass production, so we'll take it. Okay, so moving on to the next. Let's move on to the wide receivers. Let's start with A.J. Brown. Now, Mr. Brown had 20 yards a catch last season. Okay, no way is he going to repeat this. Okay, look, I love A.J. Brown. You all know this. Look, I'm the one that told you that this guy was going to be an absolute beast. We came up with a theme song. You can feel it. It's electric. We came up with that to describe A.J. Brown and his play on the football field. It's not going to be 20 yards a catch again. Okay, that's ridiculous. But I think it's going to be about 16. Okay, at least 15. So I have him down for more catches. So last year he had 52 catches. No, this year it's going to be 70. Okay, it could be 80. I have 70 catches, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. Now, it could be more than this. This is only 50 more receiving yards than he had last season. And actually one less touchdown. But I have faith in my boy, who we're going to discuss in a moment. So I think he's going to take away from A.J. Brown a little bit. But these are still great statistics for A.J. Brown. These will be the best statistics for a Tennessee Titans wide receiver since Derek Mason. Okay, for God's sake. And A.J. Brown, I'm pretty sure, has the best season since Derek Mason. Or maybe Nate Washington's stats were a little bit better. I'd have to go back and check. But I don't think Nate Washington broke 1,100 in 2011. I think he only broke 1,000. And I think it was less than A.J. Brown's amount last year. I have to check something on that. But if someone in the chat has that number, go ahead and pull it up. A.J. Brown, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. I love to see it. But y'all know my boy, Corey Davis. Okay, look, this is a contract year for Corey Davis. And I think that this guy's going to step up. I think that this guy's going to provide something, a spark for this Tennessee Titans team, going to prove himself to be a number 2 wide receiver in this league. Which, first of all, I already think he is. But a lot of people even question that. Is he even a number 2? Of course he's a number 2. And he's going to prove to be a damn good number 2 in a moment. So this is what I got for Corey Davis. Give me this. Last year, only 43 catches, 601 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, not good enough. Especially the 2 touchdowns, not good enough. And I know Marcus Mariota threw at least one in the Falcons game, Tim, so I don't know where the other one came from. Okay, but in 2020, this guy's going to return to 2018 form. But it's going to be in a number 2 role, so it's going to prove to be more valuable, as I have him down for 60 catches, 950 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Could be 6. Wanted to say 6, left it at 5 because there's still someone else that I think is going to produce a good amount, but that is damn good to me for a number 2 wide receiver in this league. And I think there's a chance he breaks over 1,000, but I do think that, again, that this guy I'm about to discuss is also going to have a good amount of a piece of the pie. Okay, so I couldn't put over 1,000. Him and A.J. Brown both over 1,000. I couldn't do it, but it could happen. And boy, that has to be a first. I think that's a first for Tennessee Titans history. If you have 2 1,000-yard wide receivers, my goodness, I love to see it. I still have faith in my boy, Corey Davis. Next, Adam Humphries. Now, I don't think Adam Humphries and Ryan Tannehill are a good match. Because from what we saw last season, look, Adam Humphries was running his little 5-yard out, little 5-yard out, little 5-yard out. And look, he would get his little catches, 5-yard slant, 5-yard in, like that. It was great. But that's it. We're not doing anything else. The occasional screen pass. Tannehill, he throws to the slot normally when it's just over the top. He doesn't really look for like the deep post and the deep ends and the corners with the slide. I don't really see him really looking for those routes a lot. So, I don't know if he's doing much. I think this could prove to be, and I can't remember the exact number, but this might be Adam Humphries last year in Tennessee. Now, I don't think that cutting him, I'm pretty sure half of his number, and it should be $9 million. I think if you cut him next year, his dead cap is like $4.5, maybe $5 million, which is a little much to cut him. But let me tell you, if he produces what I think he is, we might cut him. Because I only have him down for 40 catches, 500 yards. And look, last year it was 37 catches, 374 yards in 12 games. I know he missed some games. He missed 4 games. If he played all the games, he would have had about 500 yards, which is what I have him getting. I just don't think it's a fit. It ain't working out. Look, if we had Brady, if we had, a quarterback like that looks to the slot, Jimmy Garoppolo, if we had a quarterback that looked in the slot, then boom, we could have more production on Humphries. But with Ryan Tannehill, I don't see it. And especially with the tight end, who I'm about to discuss, is going to have a big year to me. I think this Adam Humphries is just not going to do much. And hopefully he's been watching me lately, because I've been not talking a lot about, not talking well about Adam Humphries lately in my expectations of him this upcoming season. But how about this? All right, boys, here we go. Jonnu Smith. All right, well, the tables have turned, Mr. Smith, as I have turned into a Jonnu Smith fan. And let me tell you, this is where I get a little bold. I was a little bold with the Corey Davis, a little bold. But this is where we get damn bold, as my boy Jonnu Smith is about to break out in this league. Last year, only 35 catches, 439 yards, and 3 touchdowns. How about in 2020? I got him down for 55 catches, 700 receiving yards, and 5 touchdowns. And I'm actually pretty damn confident about those receiving yards. Less confident about the touchdowns. Okay, less confident about that. He's proven not to be a big touchdown guy for whatever reason. He doesn't really catch a lot in the end zone. He just runs to the end zone a lot. But that's what I have him down for. And I think that he's ready to break out. Now, Tannehill, the one thing that does also disturb me about this, like I said, Tannehill doesn't look a lot to the slot. But what he does, he definitely can throw a good seam route, and Jonnu can definitely run that. But I just think that Jonnu is just ready to compete. They're going to throw him out there. They're going to have him in a lot of positions to make plays. He's going to get some more screen passes, make some people miss as he's done, and make some big plays for us. So I think this is really a year for Jonnu Smith. And again, I like when the Dolphins had Tannehill, he was never a big tight end guy. Now, they never had a great tight end for him. Anthony Fasano might have been their best damn tight end. But I think given now Jonnu and what he's ready to do and what he's shown last year, having the 440 receiving yards, I think he's ready to take that next step. And this is a fantasy sleeper for sure. And, as we look for tight end fantasy sleepers every year, this is what I'm looking out for. Give me Jonnu Smith. And then finally, we're going to talk about Darrynton Evans. Okay, now Darrynton Evans is interesting to me. Like I said, I think he's going to get a piece of the pie here. And again, I don't know how good he's going to be long term. But even Bishop Sankey looked decent his rookie year. Okay, like most running backs, as long as you have them a decent line, like they'll look decent. And you'll even convince yourselves that they look good. Right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still convincing themselves that Ronald Jones is so good. They're still convincing themselves of that. We convinced ourselves that, that David Cobb, that little burst he showed for 1 second in that one play against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 12. Look out for David Cobb. Look out for Javon Ringer. This is something we love to do with these backup running backs, even though they're not very good. But Darrynton Evans, look, we're going to get him the ball. He's going to make plays in space. So look out for him in the receiving game. I'm down for 250 receiving yards, but in the rushing game, look, I got him down for 90 carries. I think they're going to give him the rock. Give him a chance to prove himself. He's a third-round pick. Give him a chance to prove himself. And then 2 touchdowns each, receiving and rushing. Definitely not a fantasy person that you want to pick up, okay? Don't get me wrong there. But, decent production. And then next year will probably be his peak, and then it might all be downhill from there. I'm sorry, I don't see it. But I think it's going to be exciting. We're going to see some things here from Darrynton Evans, and in the receiving game especially. Sorry, returning game, not receiving game. But return game, that's where you're really going to see the spark. And that's where, if he really wants to make a mainstay on this team, I think that's where his value will be had. So with that said, that will end this video. My offensive statistical projections for the Tennessee Titans in 2020. What are your predictions and projections? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.